Hello.
Hello.
Morning, everybody. Welcome, episode 59, if you can believe that. And today we've got a very special guest. So I'd like to welcome comedian, TikTok phenomenon, and agency veteran, Rob Mayhew. By day, he's head of influence at the global PR agency Fleshman Hillard in London. But by night, he's a stand-up comic and TikTok creator. So surely you couldn't have missed Rob's hilarious agency parody sketches, unless you're me. But more on that in a second. This show couldn't happen without a lot of help and support from others. So firstly, our sponsors, Forecast, who are our market-leading project management software, and we've recently welcomed into the community as a sponsor. Forecast have agreed to help Agencynomics, which is a not-for-profit social enterprise community, and support our podcast show, Agencyphonics. The other thanks today is Jakeman's Cherry Menthols, feeling a little bit under the weather, so bear with me today. So Rob, first of all, little confession to make.
Go on.
When you were announced as a guest, I didn't know who you were.
That's a nice intro, isn't it?
He must be the only person in Adland.
Still dressed like me, though, isn't he? Still dressed like me.
Exactly. So, like any sort of agency biz dev person going into a pitch, I've been like cramming this morning, the last couple of days, watching videos and stuff. But there's been a bit of, there was obviously a bit of grief about that going around in the business. Like, how can you not know who he is? And to be fair, I didn't know what TikTok was either, to be fair. So
that'll change today. We'll have a chat about that.
Good. So we came up with a little joke in the business. So Spencer, knock knock.
Who's there?
Rob Mayhew.
That's nice. I mean, that's it. That's a wrap.
There
you go. That's it.
That's it.
We should get Pete onto TikTok now with that comedy angle. It's perfect.
Absolutely.
But nice shirt though. Can we talk about your shirt?
We can, yeah. So, you didn't notice it go from your wardrobe last night, then?
Exactly. Yeah. But it looks it's a nice look. It's look at this.
I know.
We couldn't turn up to a podcast
look
with
at
you.
That.
Not sort our wardrobes out.
Look at that. Dad's on tour. Dad's on tour.
Did you say Dad's on tour?
Dad's on tour.
Out of all the jumpers that you wear, that's my favourite you've got. So I'm so pleased that you wore that for us today.
People think it's a BBH jumper. Can I just confirm that this is not a BBH jumper? This is a Rowing Blazer is the brand. Let's get a plug in for doing that. Yeah. And then originally worn by Lady Diana, of all people.
Okay.
When she was wooing Prince Charles. So, there's a backstory to it, but that's not the reason why I wear it. I'm not like.
Is that actually her jumper?
This isn't her one, no. Oh, okay. But they did wear it. You would have seen it on The Crown as well. So there you go. But that's not why I wear it. I'm not like, I like to dress like Princess, the Queen of Hearts every day. I'm more Team Charles if we're going to get into it, but let's not. But anyway, good morning. Nice to see you both.
Yeah.
How's it all going? Thank you for giving up time to join us today. I mean, I've been super excited. As I said to you just before we started, I knew that you created these, incredible, parodies of agency life, but actually I didn't know how many you had created. And I was listening to another podcast you did, and I was like, you've done thousands. I mean, how many have you done that?
I've probably done like 1,400, maybe 1,500.
1,500. I mean,
yeah.
I'm even more embarrassed now.
It's But you've got to bear in mind, so I was freelancing. Now I've got a permanent job for 4 days a week. So baby steps. But I was freelancing, so I had a lot of time on my hand. I had a very supportive wife who was like, go and live your dream. So it's easy to make TikTok sketches. If you've got the ideas and you come up with an idea that's easy to do, which is, I use a green screen. You may have noticed in one of my TikToks, I'm not actually in the office. And that's perfect for me because I'm inherently lazy. So all you need is a ring light and your phone, and then you can create TikToks without leaving the house. And so I was posting 8 a day when I first started. And now I'm down to 1 a day because, quite honestly, 8 a day is not sustainable.
No, it's incredible. And so I literally last night, I went onto TikTok because I've been sort of, just waiting for the ad for the clips to be served to me on whatever platform I'm on, whether it be LinkedIn or TikTok. and I didn't realize really I should probably go in and start working my way through them. And I've got to tell you, they just are. I think the ones I haven't seen, they just strike such a chord with my experience with agency life, and yeah, just amazing. I mean, you've just hit the nail on the head time and time again.
Thank you. No, it's I just find it, because I've been working in the industry for like 20 years, and I'm account handling side, so I'm head of influence at the minute, head of influence at Fleischmann Hillard. Great job, great agency, PR agency. But I've been all over the shop. So I started off, as an account exec doing below the line shopper marketing, sales promotion, I think we called it back then. And then sort of shopper marketing, and then kind of through the line, and then kind of digital, social. I moved into that. But then also I've worked with different types of agency, PR agencies, all that client side as well. So I worked at Pentland brands with like Lacoste. I've worked at Tom Dixon. So I've kind of had
Nice.
exposure to all of these different environments, and so I can see the similarities. And look, I'm not one of those people. I haven't been. Maybe I'm not that good at my job that I've been. The longest I've served in an agency, I think, was exposure. I was there for like 6 years. But
Right.
apart from that, I'm like a year here, 2 years there.
That's a lifetime in agency land.
Yeah, it is a lifetime in agency land. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot. No, there's a lot of people now I work with now that have been, 4 or 5 years, 6 years. It's their first job. I think that's great. I do think it's nice
Yeah.
if you find the right agency. But I think it's also quite healthy to go and dip your toe, because you don't know what sort of thing you want. Do you want a small agency, big agency? I've worked from small independents right through to sort of Grey and Ogilvy, and they're all great. They've all got their own benefits and whatnot. But from all of that, I I'll never run out of agency ideas, because I mean, you just pick a topic. Just pick a topic of like a meeting, okay? So you've got getting set up for the meeting, getting your technology for the meeting, getting the pastries, the client running late, the client coming into London, being all excited. They'll probably leave and go to the big M&S on, or John Lewis or something. And then you've got, meeting them on the reception, what the receptionist sees, taking them up in the lift to the meeting room, where they're going to sit. There's like 60 TikToks just off premise of a meeting. And then,
Yeah.
there's pitch. Everything we do in this industry, we take it for granted how ridiculous it looks, how
Yeah.
ridiculous some of uh, the learned behaviors of us, and how
Yeah.
the things that we take for granted of like pitching and timesheets and
It's
the
funny,
fire
isn't
alarm
it?
being tested every Thursday. But a lot of these are still universal truth. Like I found the more niche I get, like I did one the other week about what it's like when if someone leaves an agency, agencies are terrible at informing the client. And they handle it always pretty much
That's all
really
right.
badly. It's just hilarious to me. And so I thought, look, I'll post that, but I thought that's probably very niche to agency. And no, it's not. It did really well, hundreds of thousands of views, because people can relate to it. I think for whatever business you work in, they don't handle people leaving very well. They
No,
panic.
but also when you did the one where you handing your notice in, what you want to say versus what you actually say as well.
Oh, I love doing that, and the honest, yeah, handing a notice in, like how you think it's going to go versus how, because I'm quite an uncomfortable person. I get quite awkward. I'm never going to like a communal kitchen if there's someone in there, because I just find it like, am I going to do something wrong? Am I going to like put something in the microwave and then someone's going to tell me off for doing something? But it's the same with like, I'm a people pleaser. So I don't want to upset anyone when I'm like handing my notice in. I'm like, no, I love it here. No, you're right. I'll stay. So, all of those anxieties, I think people will share. Those uncomfortable moments of like when someone raises their voice in the office, or the awkwardness of hanging outside when the fire alarm goes off. So, or just client drinks. When you have to drink. I worked for uh, I can't remember if it was a festival or we had something. Anyway, we were told we had to drink Strongbow for like 3 days at a festival. I think it was Strongbow or
Other
Carling.
ciders are available.
Yeah, other ciders are available, and that's fine. Strongbow, what a great drink, but not for 3 days.
Absolutely.
Not for 3 days. And then
No.
you just can't. And it's like there's a madness to like. You have to have the right. You have to, if you work for a tech brand or whatever, you can't be seen and it's just, that's fine. I get it, but it's, it's all, and these are things the client doesn't always see behind the scenes, and I like to kind of expose some of that. But saying all that, it's a love letter to the industry. I'm just shining the light on the truths that, which to me are funny, but I'm not like saying, this is a stupid thing we do. Like, it's, some of it's ridiculous, but it's not stupid. And I love the job.
I do think it's important, because I'm with you. I haven't seen, look, Pete and I in particular, we work with the independent agency sector. So we're kind of working with the now, next and future of the agencies coming up. And I think there's a lot of what you do actually is quite educational, because on one hand, having myself and Pete, been working in large agencies and seen a lot of the things that you talk about, like, having to work late, the pitches, the clients, dropping things on you at 3:00 on a Friday afternoon. And actually, I think in a way, it's quite good for the new agencies to have some exposure to what life is like in the bigger agencies and what they do. But also the clients can almost reflect on their behaviors and go, shit, do we do that really? Do we, do we really dump everything on you last minute? But also, when you go into, I think you did a sketch on when a client code goes into reception and what the agency wants that client to think, and I love
exactly.
Reception, we'd have all the magazine clips where the PR was us in it, all the awards and everything you did we had, and I'm like, I'm almost embarrassed. It's so predictable,
It is predictable, but there's a sweetness to it, and there's a logic as well. To show off those amazing awards you've got. Why not? And you've got why would you not have industry magazines? But it is the case. It is always the case. And also, when you go to another agency, it might be the most incredible looking building or whatever. You can always find things to sort of, oh, I don't like this. Do you know what I mean? It reminds me of like a hotel reception. I don't like, you just, it's easy to kind of pick holes at other agencies when you go to them, especially if you're pitching and things. It's hilarious. I love it.
Yeah. So, so we got a few comments. I just want to quickly just make sure I'm
Hello,
not
everyone.
missing. Good morning to Mr. Ryan O'Keefe, to Costas, who's loving my lemons this morning. Tom Phillipson, who I know is a massive fan because he commented yesterday on one of my posts.
Thanks,
Peter
Tom.
Davison, who is a legend. He was looking forward to the Big Lebowski sweater this morning, he said.
I mean, you've got Lady Diana this morning, so
we'll settle for Lady Di. And Juliet Smith saying her favourite vid was when if you were to be honest in your weekly status meetings. Yeah,
I love. So that's another one. Is being. I get to say things in these sketches that I think about all the time. Like, you've got to be semi-professional in your day job, so to be able to sit there and sort of, I've been there. I've started projects without a PO. I haven't done my timesheets. You wish you could just sit there in your daily stand up and just go, I haven't got a clue what I'm going to do today. That's the thing. So it's quite fun to be able to. It comes very easy to me to be able to write all of that stuff, if I'm honest with you, because it's I'm much better now. But I've been made redundant. I've been I'm not like some superstar account handler. Of course, if anyone from Fleischmann Hillard's listening, I am, of course. But it's that vast experience. I've been brought into a meeting when there's HR sitting there because they're letting me go just because it's just not working out. I've not passed a probation because it's just not the right fit. But then I've also done some amazing things. I've been very successful just to counteract all those negative.
Of course.
But that just means that I can see. I know what those experiences are like. Like, I know.
Yeah.
How it's the truth, and I'm now at the stage in my career where I can be honest about these things. I don't have to hide. I hope, anyway. We'll soon see.
Yeah. I
mean, so what was the inspiration then for your? I mean, how did you get into this? What was the first video, and how did you start? Like, did you just wake up one day and just thought, I've got all this stuff floating around in my head, this would be hilarious online, or what was it?
So I was doing stand-up
private WhatsApp group.
I was basically doing stand-up comedy, and I was doing sort of 3 or 4 nights a week doing that. And with lockdown, that kind of stopped quite quickly. And I was seeing sort of lots of comedians going onto TikTok, and I thought, do you know what? In my day job, so as head of influence, previously I've done like being head of social and quite senior social roles. So I was writing a lot of strategies about Instagram, social, and TikTok, and I was bunching Instagram and TikTok together as one strategy, which is what you should. And I was like, do you know what? I should really understand TikTok if I'm going to be. So I thought, why not join TikTok, and why not just become a content creator as well? Do some stand up on it. So I was on it for about 3 or 4 months, posting 8 times a day because I was freelancing then, and I was trying to figure out like what do I do, and it takes a while to kind of find what you want to do. You don't necessarily come into it with a plan, which I didn't.
Yeah.
And I was doing lots of different sort of stand up, just ramblings when I was walking around outside. And I thought what I needed was something that was really easy that I can create lots of, and that just comes very naturally to me. So my first workplace sketch was like it was a meeting room one, which is when when you think you've booked a meeting room, you go to the meeting room, and there's someone in there.
Spencer shared that with me this morning, and that for me just sums up WeWork. Every time we used to go there, exactly that conversation.
It was based off of WeWork experience as well. Exactly what would happen.
So other office share places are
available. Exactly. I'm not sure there are anymore. But and then that went really well. And for the first six months, I was lucky to be getting 1,000 views maybe, and I didn't really focus on that. I just wanted to get really good at it for my day job because I wanted to be able to, be able to be an authority on TikToks and to help brands and agencies with that stuff as a freelancer. But then slowly, like these workplace sketches were doing well, and then I decided, like, I can call them workplace sketches, but really they're agency sketches. That's what I know. So just got to build up the confidence to be able to, create more niche content. And actually, as soon as I started doing that, they started getting hundreds of thousands of views, and it's just been non-stop since then. I work 4 days a week, everyone. If you're wondering how I find the time, I have Friday, as in today, as my content creation day. So I'll probably
Sorry
make
about that, interrupting it.
Don't worry about it. 8 to 10 TikToks I'll film today, and what I'll do, just to give you the process here,
Are we going to be? Is this podcast going to be a parody?
I mean, it depends on how you behave, to be honest.
Okay.
I just want to also flag that I'm very.
Podcast interviewers turn up and try to wear silly clothes.
If you do turn up to a meeting and you're in a meeting with me, don't worry. I don't tend to. I've got literally 20 years of experience of the most horrific things happening to me. So a meeting is not going to be the thing that is. I've got. So what I'm saying is no. I'll hide it. I'll change your names anyway. But because I come from a stand-up comedy, I've been doing that for 7 years. I write everything down, so everything goes in my phone, and I've got these notes. So I'll just write all the premises down during the week that just comes to my head, and then on the Friday morning I'll just start scripting them out, and I'll film them using a ring light and my phone, and it's just really, really, it's really easy. I don't have any production skills. I've got nothing. That's why. It probably took me about 3 to 4 months to really know what level when I post my old stuff now, you'll probably notice I've got Sunny in Philadelphia music on it, quite loud. It's not, I look at that now and I just think, it doesn't quite work. That's all my old stuff. Like, you're just always learning with TikTok as well about what works and the storyline, how to have a hook and all of that.
You are quite clever because I think there's one the other day I noticed where you dropped in the Denzel Washington the devil thing, and you are quite topical and quite current with a lot of the music.
My favorite thing to do is what I love about it is that because I can record from any room, just me room at ring light. If something happens, so Denzel Washington, if the Sue Gray report, whatever drops, the Queen dies, just have something ready. I think it takes me like 5 minutes to write them and 10 minutes to the hardest thing, if I'm honest, is the costume changes, these jumpers, just different characters. This is it. So you've got to have conversation. If there's more than just me featuring in it, as in like it's more than one character, you have to take, because I feel it in order, so I have to keep going backwards and forwards. That's the only issue. But apart from that,
I remember that from the early days of doing the podcast. You accidentally wear the same thing 3 times in a row, and it looks like you're always wearing the same outfit. So
this is the thing. But yeah, it's I love my jumpers though, don't I?
So, Rob, you spoke about the stand-up comedy stuff. Been doing it for 7 years, and just now you said, and I think a few people can relate to this. Walking into that communal room and feeling a little bit awkward. So you don't strike me as like a natural extroverted person who would stand on stage and do this stuff. So how did you get into the stand-up comedy?
Well, I am. I am a show off, but I also get very embarrassed and I'll go red,
Yeah.
if someone says my name, sort of thing. So it's sort of it's kind of a real contradiction. But then at the same time, I love comedy, and you know what? I won't say the agency, great agency, but I was getting feedback from the CEO once, and he said to me, "What do you want to do, Rob? Like, what is it?" This obviously wasn't going well conversation. What is it you want to? What is it you want to do? And I was like, "Well, I don't know. I'm not. I like doing." He says, "Well, you're funny. Your people love working with you. You're funny. Can you not see if you can monetize that?" And this was about 10 years ago. So I
Wow.
thought, I didn't take that well at the time, but then sort of I did think, well, actually, do you know what? Stand-up comedy, I love it, and just love watching it live, and I thought, you know what, it's just something fun to do, and it's good just in your life skills to have it, to be able to stand on stage, and like helps with presenting and all that sort of stuff. So I just did it, and just yeah, haven't looked back. I just love it so much. It's been on hold the last sort of 6 months, a year, just whilst I focus on this. But I'm going to get back out there, especially now as I'm getting invites to come and do Christmas parties and summer parties. So I need to get my
Well,
my
we offered
comedy chops back on.
we offered you a stand-up gig at our big Agencynomics event in November, but I think you're gallivanting off to New York or something.
I'm in New York, yeah, I am. And that's
one
the
day.
thing. So yeah, I'm
Is that
big
Christmas
New York.
shopping in New York in November, or is it work?
We're still going to be. We're definitely going to New York. I think. Definitely. I'm not sure yet, but I would. I'd love to be there for you, and because I'm working on, so everyone knows, I'm working on how I can do this live. So I can do like spoof company meetings. I could do spoof pitches. So this is sort of something where I can bring it to summer parties, Christmas
Yeah.
parties.
Okay.
Do they?
If you ever need
Anyone who pays me.
if you ever need the spoof meeting with the FD who won't sign off some expenses,
There
give
you
me a
go.
call.
That's it. That's it.
I
Pete.
won't have to act out of character. It's brilliant.
I love. There's just getting expenses signed off is hilarious in itself. There's such a little dance you do, isn't there? It's
So
brilliant.
it's Fleischmann, isn't it? How you pronounce it?
Fleischmann.
Fleischmann. Okay, it's
Fleischmann
funny.
Hillard.
I'm not a massive. I don't know a lot of. I know some of the bigger obvious PR agencies, but they're obviously pretty impressive agency, right? They've got 2,500 employees.
They're a huge agency, and but they're really they're a PR agency, and I come from more like a social influencer like background. So actually, it's really nice that they've brought me in to kind of sort of head up the air influence and stuff. I don't.
Are you wheeled in? Are you sort of wheeled into pitches now as the celebrity? Because
I don't know. I mean, so it's funny because what's amazing about LinkedIn, and we can come talk about LinkedIn, is I can see who's viewing my content and my page, so I get to see all the brands and things. So if they're, if we're pitching and someone, if we're pitching for a brand and then they're viewing me, then yeah, I mean, it's because I'm across most of the clients anyway, just because of the structure of the business. So it's I mean, look, if they want to win on TikTok, if they want to know how to deal with influencers,
I think it's a super impressive thing them having you.
But can I say they've been amazing. Like they've never once, said like, "Can you not do this? Can you not do that?" They're super supportive.
Yeah, you haven't been told off. You haven't been told off.
Never been told off. No, not at all. And they're super. They're just super. Just such a nice agency. At this time,
there was that one sketch where you had the boss sort of having a go at someone in the background.
Yeah, I mean, this, like I said, that's happened. Not here, not at Fleischmann, and I don't think any of the only thing I think Fleischmann have got some funny meeting room names, like they're named after the cities of
Gandalf.
Parts of London, not Gandalf. There you go. Well done. There you go. I think they're named after like parts of London. But to be honest, I haven't spent a lot of time in the office. It's very hybrid working, so they've got off easy, really. But anything I can do, because they've been wonderful to me. So if anyone, if anyone's watching, wants to work with us at Fleischmann, come to me. They wanted me to say that. So
Yeah, no, this, and I wanted to talk about this because I think it's important. I think, in agencies, it's really important that we, and often this comes from leadership teams, building up their personal brand or building up their, their thought leadership. And, and you're doing this, you're really, I mean, for me, as an account, as an account handler career, but, I actually thought you were a strategist originally when I first saw you. It wasn't until I listened to the other podcast. Yeah. I know you're obviously, not as dull. Sorry, that was a joke. Anyway, so actually you've come from this account handling background, and actually you're really adding massive value, aren't you, to the agency now? And there must be huge benefits for them. That's my question. I mean, have you got some examples of where you created opportunities for them via the work you're doing on a Friday?
Yeah, I mean, because I think, just my knowledge, like I'm definitely, when, I'd say if anything TikTok related, I'm the guy to put on it, because it's just, the sheer number of hours I've spent on it. I know what works. I know what trends work. So yeah, we work with lots of exciting brands. We work with Krispy Kreme, Iceland Air, Fitbit. But then at the same time, for new business, slowly I'm, they're allowing me to go out there and do what I need to do. So we're going to start integrating a lot more of, like, me as, actually, I haven't been selling Fleischmann as, me and what I can do in that world on yet. I've been taking it slowly, but I think that'll change, because I think it's just, if any brands want to work with me, and in terms of strategy or TikTok social media strategy, influence strategy, TikTok specifically, or any B2B stuff. There's kind of two sides of me. There's that side, the kind of helping the strategy, and then there's me as a content creator, and I've got to keep them separate.
Yeah,
there can't really be blurred lines, but at the same time, it's also new for me, so new for Fleischmann. They've been so amazing with it. They've just been so helpful.
I'm sure, again, another benefit to Fleischmann is that you're probably helping them with their talent attraction, by raising awareness of them and as an agency. And so
absolutely, I hope so. But this is a whole thing over the next few months. You'll see I'll be doing, I hopefully be doing more of that. I want to create content for them, just to come and work at Fleischmann, because you're right, it's at the minute, especially sort of senior account manager level, there's a real lack of people in that position. So we need to absolutely. I get asked a lot as well by other agencies that I have to turn down to kind of help them with their with new business, or just promoting them as an agency. I'm like, unfortunately I can't. Conflict of interest wouldn't look good, would it?
No, it's a problem, because because you are an influencer in your own right, but you've got to be careful of who you're helping to influence to what end, I guess.
Yeah, and even I'm now sort of, I have to be careful of even like podcasts and appearance. I'm not be careful. They've never ever said this, but I'm just myself. It's like, next thing you know, you're on some competitive agency podcast, and I haven't read what I'm on, and I don't know. But they've never flagged anything. This is all in my own head. But it's great, and they're great. They're a lovely agency, and very supportive of what I do. But I work 4 days a week, so I've got that. I've got time at the minute to be able to do this. It would be hard if I was working 5 days a week.
Yeah, I mean, we have quite a niche focus, Pete and I, with Cactus Agencynomics. We work with independent founders of agencies. I think one of the things that we've been really working hard on, I think since about probably 2017, 18, was we sort of saw this regeneration of, let me pick some examples out of the kind of maybe some of the old Mad Men, or maybe the David Ogilvy's, who had high profile personal brands. Whereas I think in the noughties, a lot of the personal brands sort of disappeared a little bit from the leadership, and everything kind of came out again. And we were really sort of focusing on helping agency founders, develop those brands, try to sort of join, but especially when lockdown happened, because obviously a lot of attention went onto social platforms. But I think the thing that I'm trying to now make them understand, agency founders, is that it has to be pervasive through your leadership teams, and you have to build thought leadership and even content creators in your team now. And if you do that in depth, then it doesn't matter if someone leaves you, because the fear is always with you, I guess, is one day if you were to leave, God forbid, it doesn't sound like you ever will, because it sounds like an amazing agency. But if you were, there's a hole left by them. And so it's really up to them now to encourage more people. Have you noticed anyone else around you looking to try and do things now, or not? Has it rubbed off?
Not necessarily at Fleischmann, but I think in general on LinkedIn, I think people are seeing kind of the response, and I think people realize that you don't need to just be right about successes and the way people behave on LinkedIn. People don't mind being entertained, or you can bring that joy of TikTok onto LinkedIn as well. I think I have seen that. I think it's great when people there's people can do what I do. There's room for everyone. You can, if you've got your own take on it, absolutely. But yeah, I think you're right. I think the people like Rory Sutherland, Vogel V, those people, I love, and Jeremy Waite at IBM is another one I follow. Like,
I love Jeremy's good friend.
Yeah, I love listening to these people, and I wouldn't put myself in the bracket of those brackets, because they're probably it's different, isn't it? It's so different, and I love being able to take what I do on TikTok and have kind of grown over the last year and a half, and now sort of in the last sort of 3 or 4 months, I went from 200 followers on LinkedIn. I didn't even know there were followers on LinkedIn, to like coming up to 40,000 now on LinkedIn,
Wow,
which is
amazing.
I'm growing quicker on LinkedIn than I am on TikTok, funnily enough. So it's really interesting, the audience I'm sort of cultivating, I think that's the word. And just LinkedIn's great for stalking. So it's great for, if anyone's out there, really, you can work, you can work on TikTok and then post on LinkedIn. You just repurpose content. It's just worked out brilliantly for me, and I love it. I just think I fully encourage other people to do it, and don't expect to get it right first time. Don't forget, I said it took me 3 or 4 months of getting like 100 views there, 100 views there, and doing stupid characters, and none of it was resonating. It was hard, quite difficult to make. So I wasn't doing green screen, so it was quite difficult to find the sets. So you just need to find what works for you, and find something that is easy to do. Something there where, like, on a Friday, I can come up with 50 ideas around the pastries in a meeting. You just need to find something that you can do, that you can relate to, and that's easy to do. That's always key, I think.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it'll just become
you went from like, you said, 100 to like thousands of followers. Was there like a tipping point, like after a few months, something that you did that?
Yeah, it was probably making like making the more relatable workplace agency sketches. It was just I tell you what it was adding jokes in. So I'd not only make relatable kind of, can't get into that meeting room, but I'd add in like a surprise or a joke at the end. Being a comedian, sometimes I forget that relatable is great and you'll get some views, but it's the joke or the surprise at the end that makes people share it. It makes people go, oh my God, and watch it again. So I think it's about understanding the storytelling. And once I'd figured out the storytelling of TikTok and how the FYP and all of that works, then, which is their For You page, their page, once I'd worked out all of that, it became easier to make things that people would watch. I think, I still don't get it right all the time, but I'll make things for me. I've never really been too focused on the numbers. I mean, a bit, you'd be a lie to say you aren't, but it's really, I make things that I think are funny and things that have happened to me. But I get a lot of people, and please do send me ideas of random things and I'm like, well, that hasn't happened to me, so I can't make a sketch about it.
You might regret asking for that now after.
It's great. Yeah, I get a lot of it, but some of them are very like, oh, that's very specific to do with something that's happened to you. And I'm like, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Because I think you did one around the clients visiting, and I think I remember that in one of the agencies I was in, when the clients came in, all of us, we had a separate set of towels, cowshed, soaps, and then all the team couldn't use the loos while the pitch pre-pitch, but you have separate loos for clients in your sketch.
So this is the thing, so and this in most agencies I've worked at, it's normally the disabled toilet in reception,
right?
But they'll call it the client toilet. I'm like, well, look, I'm sure that's not okay. And that you're not allowed to use, like, I've been in there once and there was a book in there. Someone had been reading a book, so I thought, there you go. I mean, that's and it's just the politics of that toilet, because it's normally clean, it's nice, everyone uses it. And another one is just toilet behavior in an agency. If you share a building with other businesses, you won't use the toilet on your floor. You'll go up to the next floor. And someone wrote in the comments, "Oh, we call that the pooloo." So I'm like, there we go. I mean, there's a whole nother sketch.
But just jumping back to the pastries again, and this is why I think I was saying about the educate. There's actually a subtle education part in a lot of what you do. I think for smaller up and coming agencies is. I remember when our agency was in its early days, a client would come in for the meeting, we'd have probably some dirty cups that we'd pull out and we'd give it to them. And as you get a bit bigger, you realize maybe the mug should be a bit nicer and a bit maybe more designer and a bit more kitsch.
100%.
And then like, you might go to Tesco's and bring out a couple of pain au chocolats. And then you go to a big agency, and we got purchased by a large agency. And oh my word, I'm turning up at 8:30 to what can only be described as this incredible
3-foot wide pain au chocolat.
Yeah, it was like
it's like an all-inclusive buffet, isn't it? Yeah.
No, it was like the best sushi from London had been shipped in, and the best everything, and then you realize actually what how to really schmooze a client, I guess, if you want to.
But you're right, and then it's the thing is, even when you've got that spread, the meeting starts. No one knows how to eat. Do you eat at the beginning before you're about to present? You can't just. Do you chop the pan? And they always have like 9 croissants and 1 pan of chocolate. I'm like, no one wants the croissants. Everyone wants like. It's just there's so much.
So true.
Just the truth is so funny to me of like, and then you're up next and you've got like, you're trying to eat all of this food, and then there's the small talk when you have a 5-minute break during a meeting as well, when you're just sort of some people go to the toilet and like, well, how was your journey in? Those sorts of conversations I find hilarious. But you're right, it's I've been to agencies where there is no food. I've been to clients where there's not a meeting room, so you're sort of sat on their desk. And you're trying to present creative work you spent weeks working on, and it's just I can't. That's why I'll never run out of ideas. You just and the key to what I do, the difference between me and other people, is I just write everything down in my phone, because you'll forget everything. So just write it down in your phone, and then you can come back to it and write a little funny TikTok about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna anyone listening today, what I'd urge you to do is, go to TikTok. If you haven't got TikTok, install TikTok. Search Rob Mayhew, and then go to his page and literally scroll down to the very, very bottom. It'll take you a long time, just go through all of them back to back, because like me, I've been for the last six months or so just waiting for them to pop up. But I think proactively go through, because I think everyone will find one or two. And I think Gemma Sterling wrote in the comments, I love the one where the client is coming in and there's a mad panic to find some paper to hold and look busy. And I saw another one you did when the boss is walking past, where you're trying to act like you're busy and you're sort of writing nothing into the computer. It was hysterical.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you're right. And also, if you go back right to the start, you'll see I didn't have a clue. The only consistent thing is my jumpers. And I've kept all the old ones up, and you'll just see how I've evolved in terms of like, at the start, I was using that Always Sunny in Philadelphia music because I thought the algorithm wanted me to have that song on to make things be seen by more people. You just get into your own head. And then, so yeah, go back, have a look. And I also don't post all of them on LinkedIn. There's just too many, to be honest. So I kind of curate LinkedIn a bit.
What was the one clip that kind of exploded and set everything off? Do you remember it?
Yeah, I think it was what, when you go for a dinner, you go for a lunch at an agency, and you don't know who's paying. It was that one, because that got almost 1 million views, and I did get 1 million views. And I just thought that was really super niche to me, but it's not at all. And then I thought, do you know what? That's just it. And then it was the meeting room. Just from that moment on, I was getting sort of 20,000, 30,000 views. And then now, it's last week I had, I think, 2 million. I had 2 TikToks that got a few million views. It's just great, yeah. And
Wow.
and then again on LinkedIn, I'm then lucky I can then post them on LinkedIn, and again, get hundreds of thousands of views. LinkedIn again, very generous with their algorithm with video, so they'll, I reach a whole new audience. Like I said, I'm growing quicker on LinkedIn now than TikTok, but
Yeah, it's
God love
incredible.
it.
So I'm just going to quickly whiz through the comments to make sure that's our good friend Oliver there. That's good.
Can I just say quickly about the name Jenny, because we've got a Jenny that's joined us.
Yeah.
I've never worked with a Jenny, so
Have you not?
no, so that's the reason why Jenny is my boss in all the sketches, because I don't want to. Or Gavin, I've worked with a few Gavins, but not one that's going to be upset about it. So
the
Gavin
ones
and Jenny are my go-to names, and
is-
Tara's another one I use, but I have worked with her. She's one of my friends.
Well, actually, talking about names, weird thing is that in our business, as you probably know, Abby is the person who keeps us all organised, and you have an Abby and a Spencer, which has got to be weird in 2 of your clips. I noticed where you have the meet the creative team, so and then I think it's the office drinks party. So
no coincidence.
Abby and Spencer. That's right.
Yeah, I thought you said
But
the
no
main.
Pete though. We'll get you in, Pete. I'll put you in today. I'll put you into something, Pete. Don't worry.
Oh, right, brilliant. Thank you.
So yeah, the wonderful Jenny Plant. She actually works with account execs and handlers to help them with their coaching. So she has her own podcast. So you need to get on there next, because I think having a background in client services, I think you'll probably be a wonderful.
Oh, I'd love to, Jenny. Yeah, and she's written. I should have worn a jacket. Yeah, a sketch about going to the pitch. Yeah, I think the whole drama of just going to a pitch is so stressful, isn't it? And everyone's so like stressed.
You're still trying to finish the deck or the proposal on the way there.
Yeah, exactly. And then have you got the USB sticks?
And have you put the pricing page in at the front and not the back?
Well, hey, listen, Rob, that happened. So one of our biggest pitches ever was to Liverpool Football Club.
Oh,
and
great.
we used to build big sports websites.
Yeah.
And we were on the train to Liverpool. We were on the B list for the pitch. In fact, we didn't make the cut. And then someone dropped out and they invited us in. So we had like 3 days to do the pitch. So I'm on the train with a gentleman called Steve Firminger, and we're doing the deck, and we get to the pitch. We walk in, and the first slide comes up, and it was all the pricing, and it was supposed to be at the back.
Yeah,
and I said, well, let's just get the pricing out of the way first. And
that's kind of smart in a way. Like, this is going to
won the pitch. So I never know how on earth we won it, but yeah.
Brilliant. There you go. I think you're right. Yeah, it's the whole theatre of it. I mean, anything you can put. Literally, I'll never run out of ideas. I don't think.
I think that's the thing about agency life. I think lockdown things got a bit serious, and I think we're fortunate to work. There isn't, in my view, there isn't a better business to work in or to be in, because they should be fun places. You shouldn't have to take yourself too seriously, and I think we all do sometimes take ourselves a bit too seriously, because the stress of the client deadlines and the demands can make that happen. But I think you've probably made us all realize that we need to sort of take a step back and be able to laugh at ourselves a little bit more.
I'm going to wear this shirt for the rest of the day.
This is the thing. And also, like, some of the things that, like with small agencies especially, you can change the culture. It doesn't have to be working late on a pitch. It doesn't have to be, when you get a pitch, it's like, we need more time. It's like there's a lot of things within the sketches that I always think, well, it doesn't need to be this way. And actually that I think a lot of agencies now are very people focused now, and actually they're really aware of like hybrid working and making sure that people don't are not burning out like the good old 10-15 years ago, which is just unless you worked till 11 at night, then are you really pulling your weight? I hate that. I hate that culture, and that comes from top down. That's the bosses. So your founders, so they need to make sure they're leaving.
2 in the morning. Like, I remember sitting there doing pitches at 12:1-2 with planners. If Adam Swan's listening, he's in New York now. I remember with him having a massive hissy fit at 1 a.m, wondering why we were working, and there was no one else senior in the business, but we were just left to do this.
I've done sketches about that. I've done a sketch about the founder that you never see coming in for the company meeting and just making all these announcements and not knowing anything. And another one was the pitch team that you just never see if you win. So you won't see the creative director again. You won't see the founder. You won't see. So I know the brands are very good now. They're like, can we have the team that are going to be working on it.
Working with us, not just the dream
Yeah.
team that we chipped in from all around the world. And you
Exactly.
did another sketch which I loved, which was funny because I remember we had a big pitch in Paris once, and the new business director, as we walked into the pitch, said, "Is it okay if you do my slides?" And and you did a parody on that as well, which was.
It's just that happens all the time, doesn't it? Or they've changed the slides, they've changed them. You know, you go there. I'm terrible at formatting slides, so people often take things out. And this is another thing. And I post this on LinkedIn, and people go mental for it. They're like, it should be 6 words per slide. I'm like, come on, I don't care. I don't know where this has come from. I think put all the information on the slide. I'm old school. I want all the information on the slide because I think the client's going to take it away and they'll just interpret it in their own head of how they think it should be. Whereas if you're the agency, put all the information on the slide. And by the way, I know this is probably wrong, everyone, but I think that so often my slides just get taken. I'm like, this is all the work. You're taking out all the work. You're just leaving the word. I mean, I could have written that one word on the slide. It would take me 10 minutes. But anyway, that's another thing.
No, that's true. So look, I just want to make sure I haven't missed anybody else. I've got Ian Cartwright. Love your work. Please keep them coming.
Thanks, Ian.
Oh, he talks about the Matt Beaumont book.
Oh, yes. I remember that from my first ever job.
I bought a copy for Pete. I don't know if he's managed to read it yet.
I started reading it. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
I remember that from my first ever job at Team LGM.
Great book.
Baker Street. And I remember they were reading it. Yeah, people have mentioned that to me. So maybe I need to start cashing in, don't I? I need to start cashing in with a book or.
Absolutely. I mean, take a leaf out of our book, write a book, fund Jeff Bezos's expensive lifestyle with every copy sold. Brilliant.
Self-published.
Yeah, you don't make any money out of books, Rob. That's the one.
No, you're right. But you're right. That's not the right thing to do.
It's a good thing to do. It is a good thing to do.
Jumpers, maybe. Bring my own jumpers out.
Big shout out to Nick Gray as well there. So okay, cool. I haven't missed anyone's questions. Oh, there was one question about the 4-day week, wasn't there? I saw pop up somewhere.
What was that?
Question to Rob. The biz where you are working 4 days a week, are they benefiting from your success? Surely a few more jumpers coming your way on the expenses.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
When I had no followers, my one expense in life is these nice jumpers by a brand called Rowing Blazer. And I started my TikTok within mind. One of my only goals, I wrote on a Post-it note, was to get free jumpers from them. So after 6 months, I got an email saying, "We've seen your sketches." I always wore the same jumpers. It was a plan. And now they send me free jumpers. So
that's good.
I know you're all very relieved that I get my jumpers for free.
Why we're relieved.
You were going to say that they sent you a 5% off voucher or something.
No, but the thing is, I got an email from them the other day saying, "We've noticed the neck has gone in some of your jumpers," and I'm like, "Well, that's because I'm trying to." They're resending me some of these jumpers, so maybe I'll give some.
Because you keep pulling them down when you get,
I do when I get nervous. It's one of my tics. But it's because I'm. All the costume changes, I'm sort of yanking. That's why if you watch some of the sketches, I'm like sort of off the shoulder like that because I'm just like fed up of costume changes.
Yeah. They're all screaming right now watching this because we tasked Abby to go and buy some of your jumpers so we could surprise you. And then when we saw the price of them, we went, yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, they are expensive, but it's not fast fashion. Is the only excuse. They're handmade, so that's why I'm very happy to get them for free now.
Yeah, no, I think one of the things that Pete and I had spoken about doing before this podcast was to actually set up a spoof Rob Mayhew merchandise Shopify site and just say we're taking advantage of it and just have you all in your pictures. But
do you know what I want to bring out? If anyone can help me with this, I want to bring out a line of stationery for agencies because I feel like the day book, I call it a day book, like all of this stuff is not suitable for an agency. So I want to bring out a very good quality line of stationery. So it wouldn't be like wacky t-shirts. I want to bring out useful stationery, not with my face on either. Yeah. So if someone wants to do that for me, we'll go 50-50.
Brilliant. Excellent. There we go.
70-40, 30.
Helping you monetize the creator economy.
Exactly. It's what it's all about at the end of the day. We all know this.
So listen, I'm conscious of time. I know that we've got a hard stop today. I just want to say thank you so much. I appreciate that. Today is the day where you're you're out there creating more videos. And but thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you here.
Yeah,
I'd love to come back on, and I think there's loads we can talk about. I think it's really good, and just thank you to everyone who's like watches my sketches, and it's been really nice. Everyone's really nice. I don't get trolled.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Well, listen,
really nice.
let's do that, because I think it would be really nice to get you back on the show. I think there's so much more that we could talk about, especially around just generally. We spoke before we went live about everything from office parties to pitches, whatever. But I think there's so many different areas that we could delve more into.
And I'd love to give some tips about even just like LinkedIn and the things I've learned about just how to promote yourself as well. Because I think, that's a really useful thing that I'm benefiting from now, and I'm sort of learning as I go. But it's such a good opportunity, I think, just the whole B2B, the audience I've curated, anyway, all of that stuff we can talk about. All the boring stuff.
I think the most important thing as well, Rob, for people to realize is that not everyone's a comedian, not everyone's an extrovert, not everyone is. You have to be you, and you have to find what you're good at doing and do it in the way that you're good at doing it. And I think that's the other thing as well, because we're all very different people, and
just do it as well. Like, just do it, because you're not going to get it right to start with. You just go and start making TikToks. They don't have to be funny. There's a whole learning and education thing on there. Like, it's marketing as well. Like, go and just do your thing, and then in 6 months, I promise you'll be doing something completely different to what you thought. But you're not gonna get it if you're just sat at home with a piece of paper. You just need to start making stuff, and then once you start making it, you'll learn so quickly what works, what doesn't, what you enjoy doing, and make something that's easy to do. It's my topic.
Yeah, I'm loving Sarah Deacon going, no, don't finish. Alexander Neeson, thanks, Rob, you're a legend.
Thank you.
And Ian Cartwright, thank you to you for your kind words as well. So thanks, everyone. Thanks for tuning in this morning. As Rob always says, it's a Friday today, so you're probably all thinking about packing up and going home at lunchtime today.
Exactly. What time's a half day? What time is a half day? No one knows.
Pretty much now.
It's 12 o'clock, so you've got less than 2 hours to the half day Friday. So that's a wrap.
Brilliant.